1. Mother's heart. A woman was admitted in a hospital as she was suffering from brain tumor. Her son and relatives were around her. She died within a few hours. Her son cried the whole day and became ill. He returned home the next day and found a letter on the table beside his mother's bed. Surprisingly, it also had a few tablets. His hands trembled as he read the letter. "Take these tablets, dear. I know you catch a cold easily after crying 'Love, Mum.' No matter in what condition mothers are, they always care about their children. Kindly respect and love your mother." 2. What family needs. A teacher asked a little girl, "What does your dad do?" Girl replied, "He works in a chocolate factory and brings lots of chocolate for me. In the evening he works in an ice cream parlor and I eat my favorite flavor. He also works in a toy shop and brings me soft and cuddly teddy sometime. He is also a teacher because he helps me daily in my homework. He is very strong and hard worker. He lifts me on his shoulders. He becomes a horse for me and gives me a good ride around the house. He is my favorite clown as he makes me laugh a lot. He is a storyteller who tells me wonderful stories at night. He works from morning to evening and never get tired. And when he is back to home, he is always ready to play with me." Moral of the story. As parents, kids don't value what we do to earn the money. They give value to what we do to earn their love. Let's give them what they value most, our time. 3. The false human belief. As a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chains, no cages. It was obvious that the elephants could, at any time, can break away from their bonds, but for some reason, they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. "Well," trainer said, "when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and, at that age, it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free." The man was amazed. These animals could at any time break free from their bonds, but because they believed they couldn't, they were stuck right where they were. Like the elephants, how many of us go through life hanging on to a belief that we cannot do something, simply because we failed at it once before? Moral: failure is a part of learning. We should never give up the struggle in life. You fail not because you are destined to fail, but because there are lessons which you need to learn as you move on with your life. 4. Always ask, never assume. John was told that a twin-engine plane would be waiting at the airport. Arriving at the airport, he spotted a plane warming up outside the hangar. He jumped in, said, "Let's go." The pilot taxied and took off. Once in the air, John told the pilot, "Fly low over the valley so I can take pictures of the fire on the hill." Pilot: "Why?" John: "BCOZ, I'm the photographer for CNN. I need to get some close-up shots." Pilot was strangely silent for a moment, then he stammered, "So, what you're telling me is, you're not my flying instructor. Life is short. Moral of the story is, always ask, never assume." 5. Education and its appliance. A scientist and an ordinary man went on a camping trip, set up their tent and fell asleep. Some hours later, the ordinary man woke up his friend. "Look up at the sky and tell me what you see." The scientist replies, "I see millions of stars." The ordinary man asks, "So what does that tell you?" The PhD guy ponders for a minute. "Astronomically speaking, it tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, it tells me that Saturn's in Leo. Time-wise, it appears to be approximately 3:15. Theologically, it's evident the Lord is all-powerful and we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, it seems we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. What does it tell you?" The ordinary man silences for a moment and speaks, "Practically, it tells me that the tent's been stolen." Be educated in the right way and apply it where it's applicable. 6. Think before you judge. A doctor entered the hospital in a hurry after being called in for an urgent surgery. He answered the call ASAP, changed his clothes and went directly to the surgery block. He found the boy's father pacing in the hall waiting for the doctor. On seeing him, the father yelled, "Why did you take all this time to come? Don't you know that my son's life is in danger? Don't you have any sense of responsibility?" The doctor smiled and said, "I am sorry, I wasn't in the hospital and I came as fast as I could after receiving the call, and now, I wish you'd calm down so that I can do my work." Calm down. What if your son was in this room right now? Would you calm down? If your own son dies while waiting for doctor, then what will you do?" said the father angrily. The doctor smiled again and replied, "We will do our best by God's grace, and you should also pray for your son's healthy life." Giving advices when we're not concerned is so easier, murmured the father. The surgery took some hours, after which the doctor went out happy. "Thank goodness. Your son is saved." And without waiting for the father's reply, he carried on his way, running by saying, "If you have any questions, ask the nurse." Why is he so arrogant? "He couldn't wait some minutes so that I ask about my son's state," commented the father when seeing the nurse minutes after the doctor left. The nurse answered, tears coming down her face, "His son died yesterday in a road accident. He was at the burial when we called him for your son's surgery. And now that he saved your son's life, he left running to finish his son's burial." Moral: never judge anyone because you never know how their life is and what they're going through.